my fellow dreamers, and welcome back to the Dreamers Life podcast. This is a funny episode today. This is our annual interview with our daughter, Evanjalyn Webster, on what I did over my summer break. I think you're going to find it pretty entertaining. Let's get started with the conversation.
This podcast is a presentation of Pioneer Dream, celebrating 30 years of moving stories for our corporate, nonprofit, and entertainment partners.
Hello, fellow dreamers, and welcome back to the Dreamers Life podcast. My confidence in you is so great that I believe you can tell even now by the sound of my voice that there's something different about this podcast. This podcast is special for a couple of reasons. One, because it is our annual What I Did Over My Summer Break interview with the one and only Evanjalyn Jane Webster III.
Yippee.
Say hello, Evanjalyn.
Hello, Evanjalyn.
And my traditional co-conspirator, Anjanette. Hello, Anjanette.
Hey, what's up, guys? Happy
And
summertime.
it's also special because we are doing this podcast as a satellite. We are not in the Pioneer Dream lair as we normally are.
Nice.
We are coming to you live to data from Chicago, Illinois. So let the crowd go wild.
Oh my gosh, this is my favorite podcast. Whoa.
So we've been really burning it in Chicago, and we'll tell you more about what we've been doing. And so you can probably tell by the sound of Evanjalyn's voice that we've left it all on the mat, as they say.
Evanjalyn has a special tradition, and it goes like this. Anytime we travel anywhere, she gets sick. So,
I also screamed way too loud at a Cubs White Sox game.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, we've had fun. So she is a little under the weather, but still feeling like she can talk to you guys.
I don't think she's under the weather as much as she sounds.
Sounds
No, yeah, I'm not super energized, but you know,
it's not as bad as your
my voice just sounds weird.
Got Betty Davis eyes. Okay. Well, thank you both for joining us on the podcast, and thank you, dreamers, for joining us. This is a fun podcast. We look forward to doing this. I don't know how many years we've been doing this. This started as a column that I've done with you probably for, you're probably in second or third grade when we first started doing these.
Yeah.
And now look at you, you're almost a grown adult. And so every year we do this.
I'm grown to dead.
Yeah. And we're cheating a little bit because normally we actually wait for you to start school before we do this.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. But we thought it would be really, really fun to do this in Chicago. And so we're cheating a little bit. And we're doing it about 2 weeks early before you should return to school. So let's talk about when last our viewing audience saw you. You were finishing 7th grade, and you were about to embark on your second round of theme park extravaganza, back-to-back weekends of Silver Dollar. Let's see, it was Frontier City and Oklahoma City after you did a contest, right?
Yeah, we did the Heartland Music Festival contest, which we learned there that Frontier City contest, Heartland Music Festival, is actually like 5 weeks long. We were just there for like the last week, but it was really cool.
Yeah.
Did you? They have orchestras come in from
Orchestras, bands, choirs,
yeah,
everywhere.
Did you win over all of them? Were you guys the best?
We were not exactly the best, but we did get, I think it was a distinguished performance trophy, which could either be really good or really bad.
Like you received a superior rating.
Yeah, we received a superior
You're saying
rating.
that whatever it was you did, it was either good enough or bad enough that you stood out.
How was my performance, Mom?
Very
Distinguished.
How's my outfit today? Distinguished.
Wow, so artsy.
Well, I love how you pay no attention to the fashion du jour. Or matching patterns and colors. Yeah. Well, so then it was just rinse and repeat because the very next weekend was Silver Dollar City.
Yes.
And so you did that.
That one was actually the lit one that I wasn't expecting to be really fun.
What was fun about it for you?
I don't know, like that drive is always so long.
Yes.
And we don't get like fancy buses for that one. We're in regular school buses for like a 3-hour drive, and it's like, oh my gosh, if I don't get off this bus, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. And so we get there and we're just so ready. And then we get there and we're like, oh my gosh, this is super fun. And I had friends with me in my group, but like I also had people that I wasn't like super sure. Like we were friends, but we weren't like bestest friends, and it was like super fun, and we all like really connected. So that was great.
And you guys got to ride some good rides.
Yeah, we actually got to ride
Well,
rides.
and then because we were chaperoning, we saved you from the yellow bus ride home. So we left in our own car with you.
Yeah.
And I think we got home maybe just before 9, but they were projecting the rest of the bus to get there around 10:30, 11.
No, they were there. Melody texted me that night, one of my friends in my group, and she said, we just got there. It's 12:01 p.m. And I was like, bless you.
Wow. That's, that's not an achievement.
And we still, of course, gave you your space. And
Yes.
we watched Silver
Yeah.
Dollar City.
And, Silver Dollar City continues to be a primary disappointment for me. It's all bald knobbers and Western stuff and country.
Wow, you're
we
so
did
afraid
ride
of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the best ride
we
was...
did ride the Fire in the Hole.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
rode Fire in the Hole, which, like, I hate to go back and, like, you can go to these little stations and, like, they'll take pictures of you.
Yeah.
And, like, the middle of the ride, and, like, every time my face is, like, so red, and I'm, like, my mouth was, like, off to
Contorted,
the corner,
yes.
and, like, half of my eyes closed, and my arms are, like, in a weird position. I'm like, they should not do this.
But it
So
was fun.
because
Yeah, it was super fun.
because of your grades, it's just such a cool policy. They didn't have this policy when we were in school. I don't know that would have made a difference for me. But if you now in school, if you have a certain GPA and then also a minor number of either tardies or absentees, you get to skip.
Absentees.
You get absences. You get to skip your finals, and so you actually got out of school
You
like
just
2
go
days.
home.
You got out of school like 2 days early.
Yeah.
But even so, you immediately jumped into what? What was your first thing for the summer?
My first thing for the summer was a Frozen Junior Camp, which was kind of nostalgic because my very first musical with CMT was a Frozen Kids Camp when I was like really young. They let me in a little bit early. And it was really cool.
That's because we paid those people off to let you in.
It's
Yeah,
true.
it was really fun.
So your first time when you did Frozen Junior, do you remember what part you played? You were only 7.
I was a snowflake.
Aw, you were so cute.
I was a very cute, tiny snowflake.
You were
and they
cute,
cut
yeah.
the snowflakes when I did the bigger one, and I was like, hey, that kind of hurt my snowflake dreams, but
Yeah.
whatever.
I remember we had these conversations about whether or not we were going to do the smaller shows this summer or not, because
Yeah.
there might be some other things you wanted to do. But you opted to do this show specifically for what reason?
Frozen?
Yes.
Junior, because
You and who? Your theater bestie.
Vivi?
Yeah.
Me and Vivi.
why are you looking at us like we've never had these conversations before?
Well, because you guys did that. That was the first show you did together.
Oh, yeah, that's the first show that we ever did.
Wow.
Yes.
It's like I'm living your life for
Well,
you.
that's what I already said that, but...
Okay, so tell everybody what you ended up playing. It was a surprise casting. But
Yeah, it was a very surprising casting, but I got to play Finn, which I was like, oh, it's not really a big
And
role.
for those who don't know, Sven is what?
The reindeer.
Yeah.
Yes.
The reindeer.
And he was very
The
cute.
reindeer.
He was a very cute. I got like, they were trying us out for costumes and stuff, and they're like, okay, so we have this ugly costume where you get on crutches and you actually look like a reindeer, and we have this cute jumpsuit with some fur and some antlers. And they're like,
Yeah.
so we're gonna try the cute jumpsuit first, and it worked, and I was like, yes.
I don't know why, but somehow the jumpsuit made you look older. Like it was
Yeah,
like, oh my
it did.
gosh. I mean,
know.
probably because it's not something you would traditionally wear on your own, like as a normal fashion thing. You don't normally wear jumpsuits in your everyday world.
It's not my.
And so
Thanks.
there was something about it that kind of looked occupational or
Yeah,
authoritarian.
it
You know, it's
did.
like, oh, yeah.
It was like a plumber jumpsuit, but they made it look cute.
Yeah.
So.
It
That
was,
was
very
cute.
cute. And although you weren't expecting to, as a mom, I have to say, you weren't expecting to get cast as Finn the reindeer, but you really, which you're always so great at,
Yeah.
you turned it into something really funny
It
and
was
cute.
super fun.
And
Yeah.
what was and you actually enjoyed playing that part, didn't you? You were
Yeah, I
Olaf's
really
sidekick,
like that one.
right?
I was, yeah.
Tell him the sweetest. I heard you get one of the sweetest compliments after the last show.
Oh,
A lady came up to you that didn't
There
know
was like
you.
this lady that came up to me, and I was like, a lot of times like we're like locally famous, I guess.
Wow.
What? No,
We're just-
not really. We
Locally
just know
known.
a lot of people,
Yeah,
so
we're known.
a lot of times people come up to me and they'll be like, "Oh, hey, I've seen you on Facebook and blah, 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 blah. I'll be like, okay, cool, I don't know who you are. But this person, I just thought it was somebody that maybe you guys knew, but she comes up to me. Yeah, that's the thing is, like, she comes up to me after the show and she said, you are the cutest, most talented, best reindeer I've ever seen in the history of reindeers in musicals, reindeers in general, and just people in musicals. And she was like, good job. And I was like, thank you.
Isn't that sweet? I know. It was fun. I love seeing you guys do that show.
So you did a couple performances for that. That wrapped up, and then you did what?
And then I got like one day or a weekend or something, and then we launched into Andrew Lloyd Webber's Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
So just for those who don't know, what happens in that process is you guys are sequestered and you go to what is formerly the Mid-High, which is now Madison, and you rehearse for like 4.5, 5 weeks, something like that?
Yeah,
and
it's
so
like 4.5 weeks because then we started Tech Week the community.
You've been in a lot of these shows now. So what was this year like compared to last year and all the rehearsal stuff?
This year was really cool. We had a great artistic staff. It was a little different because Andrew Lloyd Webber, a lot of his stuff are like traditionally called operas. They're not necessarily like performed as an opera.
Right.
But there's no speaking lines is what I mean by that. So we had this music director a lot who was actually our director this year, and then we have an actual music director. So it was kind of cool to get that switch up, and she was a really great director too. And now she's going to be like the artistic director coordinator for CMT, the company. So that was really cool. But this musical is really different. I don't necessarily know how to describe it. But it was just really cool. It was a great experience. It was something new that we've never done. I got to dance a lot more.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not like the best at dancing, it's still fun and cool to enjoy it.
No one else would know you're not.
No, actually, I know
I struggled a little bit.
I know you don't feel like you're.
Dancing.
Yeah, I know you don't feel like that's your strength, but actually, you were. Yeah, really joyful dancer. It was really fun to watch you do it.
It took a little bit to get
like
into
you're
it.
a triple threat, whereas like your dad is a zero threat. So it's
like the thing is, like I was a little worried at the beginning because I was so focused on getting the dancing that I couldn't like really put any like effort into my face, like facial expressions or anything. I was just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
That's really funny because that's one of the things I think you do so well. When I watch you perform for acting and especially even in the dancing, it's like you never stop acting. Most kids, when it's not their time to say a line, they're somewhere else in their brain. They're just not. They don't continue to face act at all.
Yeah, this is just like a time where I had to like the dancing was so complicated, which made it great. I had to like do the dancing and then be like, I don't suck at facial expressions.
Well, it's super cute that in the Black Box show, which was the Disney Junior, you were obviously one of the older kids there, and so the little kids, the way they responded to you was super cute.
Yes, you were definitely.
And then by the time you got to Joseph, the older kids know you now, and so they treat you with a certain level of respect. That they're not dismissive of you.
I mean, it can be improved, but
it's hard when you're a teen star.
I'm like, come on, guys, I'm not that scary.
So, how did you feel about this musical compared to some of the other main stage musicals you've done?
Well, like I said, doing an opera is very different. It means more dancing, but also it means there's like a lot more like rushing around, specifically with the part I had to.
Yeah.
It's like you have some fast costume changes and running around backstage because there's never like pause for dialogue.
Right.
Like the songs end and you have your applause, and then you have like a play out song, which is like da 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 da, like a little bit of like the other song, and you walk out, and that just rolls straight into the next thing. So you're like running.
You're very busy.
Unfortunately, trying to like push tiny people out of the way, just be like,
in a loving way.
Yeah, in a loving way, and like come back. I'm like, I'm sorry, I slammed you into a wall. Are you okay?
Oh my gosh!
I really need to make that entrance.
You're on stage a lot in that show, and how would you describe the show? Is it funny? Is it? I mean, it's sometimes when you get in. So for those who don't know. It's based on a kind of a biblical story from the Old Testament about a guy named Joseph and his other brothers, 11 brothers. And so it has some drama to it.
It does.
But how did they treat it as a musical?
They had some drama, but like more of it was like, oh no, Joseph, you're in a pit. And like I think the brothers and the wives and their wives are like the comic relief that you
Yes.
really need. Because like if you wanted to have a dramatic musical, you could have a dramatic musical. You just need to take them out and be like, Joseph's slung in a pit. Oh no. But like with the brothers and their wives, it adds like that sense of like they're like snickering behind his back and they're
What?
like, yay, Joseph's dead. They're like throwing parties and it's really funny.
Well,
And
it's
you
funny.
played one of the wives.
I
It
was
your
one of the
roles.
wives,
So you got
yes.
to be part of that.
So you're betrothed, and that's, fine.
Disturbing. You're a little young to be married at 13.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
what's funny about it to me is also it's not Phantom of the Opera. It's not even Jesus Christ Superstar, which is pretty serious. There is a lot of humor in this show.
Yeah, it's
and,
hilarious.
And then what they do with kind of it almost travels like in decade stuff. So there's some kind of 1940s French bistro kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's,
kind of there's a Western thing that kind of crosses over into a disco era
there's some
thing.
1920s like
Oh,
Cabaret
yeah, like
kind of
flapper.
stuff.
yeah, flapper
Yeah.
dancers.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
looking
and
for.
so you kind of take this historic decade journey,
Yeah.
but then the
take a
genre, and then there's a mixture of genres, but then there's a lot of funny stuff that's happening, and you guys played it so well, and then you gave a lot of time for the audience to respond and connect.
Yeah,
and,
that was one of the things that we really work on because, like, that way the audience is like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. They're like a little taken back when you just like move on. And then also, like, the actors don't really receive all the praise that they need to feel accomplished in all that they've worked on, which is important.
Yeah.
Because
So-
that's why a lot of people quit is they don't feel like, wow, like they might have thought that they did like a really good job, but they don't really get the praise from the audience and the crowd, and they're like, I just don't know if what I'm doing is worth it.
Right.
When truly it is. People just don't know how to show it. So.
Yeah, as somebody backstage, so both your mom and I were backstage for the Tech Week, and so we're there for all the performances and all that stuff, and so it is always entertaining to see how different audiences respond and the way their energy affects the energy on the stage, and so you guys obviously come out, it's the same script every night, so the same jokes every night, and some nights the jokes land and sometimes the audience isn't interested, and you're like, what?
Like
So it's
live
really
performance.
funny to see some audiences be really responsive, and some audiences just are for whatever reason just don't all get it.
Did you have a favorite moment or a favorite scene that you were part of? Is that hard to think?
Not really.
Not really. You enjoyed them all.
Yeah, I really liked them all.
Now that you've had kind of the best musical ever, does it feel like now's the time to walk away? Like, let's just leave it here. Like, you've done this, so let's just never do another one of these again.
Nice try.
So you want
Because we spent 10 days at the Bartlesville Center. Or
Okay.
10 days and 10
Yeah,
nights.
10 days. I spent like a month and a half, but whatever.
So what I did notice that was a little interesting about in my observation, and you may feel differently, is that when this show wrapped and we had about a week in there, a lot of times when a show wraps, you kind of go into this recovery mode. So like you start doing quiet craft projects or Legos or whatever, and you just kind of, there's a little bit of, I don't know, like there's a little bit of weight because the show is over, but this time it was kind of like you, as soon as the show was wrapped and done, you did not seem to
You didn't
bear
say
the weight of it.
All of the emotions come crashing down on me in one day.
Yeah,
which
that was
was
a bad
terrible.
day.
It was like I was like 4 hangovers, like poured down. I sat in my room bawling, like all the emotions just like came.
Theater hangover.
And then I was like done with it, I guess. But that day was like really crushing. It really messed with me a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was like those seasons of change moments and all
Yeah.
that, and just like poured it on me, and it was bad. But then I got over it in like 1 or 2
It's
days.
such a value. I mean, you're talking about the seasons of change thing. That's such a value, though, because when you've been through 1 or 2 of those, it's not like it's not painful or disruptive or uncomfortable or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just you also know, oh, this is temporary.
Yeah, you have to recognize it,
Yeah.
and then that helps process.
I'm
it
living
a
my
lot
life like
more.
that right now. Like there are a couple things that come on you, or you have these thoughts and you have these experiences. And you think, well, this is awful, and then you think, oh, but I've been here before, and I know this isn't forever, and so that causes you to not sell all your possessions and move to a monastery.
Yeah, I had to the
Now,
day
if-
before I should make a list.
Yeah.
Like on my last day, I'd be like, here's ways to distract yourself from the impending doom that's being put upon you.
Yeah, this is how you're going to feel. So don't be surprised when you get here.
Yeah, I mean, theater and actually the type of work that all of us do that you've found your way into, a lot of it is there's cycles.
Yeah.
There's having an idea, there's writing it, prepping, there's actually being involved in
Right.
it, and then there's the after. And so it's not that you're not sad or you don't have the emotions, but maturity is, I did this last summer and I remember I'm going to feel sad for about a day and then I'm going to be okay.
That's our
You know?
ongoing joke, though, too. It's okay, yes, it's despair, but the good news is it's not personal. It just happens. Well, I thought it was a really fun show, and I continue to be impressed. I'm not just saying this because we're on the podcast. I continue to be impressed to watch your skill set grow, to watch your presence on stage grow, to watch your confidence as a performer grow. And then, it's interesting for us because we are a family of makers or creators. So we generate stuff. You have an idea your mom has an idea for a song. And so, yes, she can sing a lot of great songs, but she's also a writer.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. But she's a writer. And so
I like to make songs.
yeah, and you are that same way. You write a lot of songs, you play a lot of songs that you come up with, but then the way that you inhabit these characters for the shows is really entertaining. And so my guess is your class with NCMT, they have great expectations for you guys of doing great things.
Yes.
Yeah. So the show wrapped, you went into despair, you realized you weren't the only one.
Yeah.
It was a quick
It was like a scene
24-hour
from Sunset
despair.
Boulevard.
Yeah,
It
I was
just,
like, oh my God, the
Mr.
world's
Deneuve,
ending.
I'm ready for my close-up. It was a whole thing. And
you got
then,
The world is a stage.
and then you did a rap party and all
Wait
that
a
stuff.
second. Our family is in charge
Okay,
of throwing the
credits
cast
to
party.
my
Yes.
mother who spent her whole life planning this cast party.
It was a pretty good
Hey,
cast
weddings,
It was an amazing
weddings have had
cast
less
party.
coordination.
What's that?
Weddings have had less coordination.
Oh, yeah. Yes,
Hey,
very
listen,
much.
We wanted to throw a special Technicolor cast party.
It was
and we did,
amazing.
complete
Yes.
with a team karaoke.
Karaoke.
Shout
it
out
was dress
to-
up.
Games.
Shout out
yes.
to the
Crossing
Pattons
Second.
Yes,
and
my
doing all
cohort, Leela Patton, was awesome.
with Jared doing the
Cohort.
cohort.
Yeah, that means like a colleague, like someone you work with.
Wow.
Your buddy, your cohorts from
We're
school.
all
Cohort.
in.
You're such a cohort, Jessica.
Jessica.
It's not the Pattons did the karaoke and helped with the decorations.
Oh
and a
yeah, they
handful
were
of
great.
others.
Leela and Jared were great help, and I feel like we put on a very fun. I like doing the cast
It was
party
amazing.
because like we talk about a rap. Let's wrap it. Let's have
Yeah,
some
let's
fun.
wrap
Put a
it.
package on it. Let's put a bow on it.
That's right.
Let's send it down the river.
I did.
right, we did.
Like you're so stressed in it, and then you get done and you're like, "Oh, this is the best cast party ever. I'm gonna do it next year." Then you get in and you're like, "Why did I do this to myself?"
That's
Well,
how
sometimes-
production
Happens
goes.
every year.
So it's funny whenever we do a Dreamers Live event,
Job.
we always do like a social post a couple days later, and that's not really a promotional post. We do the same thing with it, and sometimes we'll do an email with it. We don't do that so that it's just we're promoting what we do and trying to encourage more people into it. What we're really doing is summarizing the experience that we had and reminding people, hey, this is what we did. Because if you get 48 hours removed, there's a good chance that whatever you had or experienced will be lost in the hustle and bustle of whatever your daily life is. So we always go back and kind of repackage, oh, this is what you experienced. This is the thing we all did together. This was our communal moment. This is what we heard from other people. And that will remind people so they can hold on to it at some moment. And so like when you go through an experience like a play, like the main stage play,
6
and
weeks
you get
of
on the
your
other
summer.
side of it, it's easy to say, oh, what was that? Was I ever part of a play? Was I ever here? Did anything ever really happen?
Yeah.
And having that moment to kind of wrap things up and remember those things kind of solidifies it in your soul and says, oh yeah, I did this. I overcame these things. I had these accomplishments. I met these people. We had these experiences. We had these joys that we shared together. We made these friendships. And now this is embedded in me.
Yeah.
And I can take this deeper. And it won't be stolen by just the busyness of moving on to the next thing.
Close it out.
So then we did the rap party. And then what happened?
Very quickly, we moved on to the next thing.
Well, we actually had a week before we went on our vacation.
We had 5 days.
We had 5 days, which are kind of hard for me because I was like,
You're in between.
normally what we would do, like when we normally go on vacations, after in the summer, since we're so cultured, we normally like sometimes it'd be like the very next morning.
Yes.
Like peace, we're leaving to like wherever we're going.
Yeah.
Or it'll be like in 1 or 2 days, which is great because that kind of like shuts out the
theater
dwelling post-theater depression. But I had a whole 5 days to just recollect everything that I lost. And so it was fun, but it was like a lot of like wallowing on the couch. Like I had nothing to do.
Yeah, because you're
I'm gonna go to I went to Dollar Tree like 3 times in one day.
Thank
I was
God
like,
for your Aunt B. I
Oh,
would
yeah,
text
thank
her.
you,
Could
Aunt
please
B.
take your niece somewhere?
Take
Anywhere?
me. Yeah,
She's
I was like,
wallowing.
thank you to Mimi too because she was
yeah.
like, "Do you want to go to Chili's?" I'm like, "Please, take me, dress me. I can't get off the couch."
Yes, that's right. So we had a few days in there, and then we had been planning for quite some time.
Yes.
Where are we sitting right now?
We are sitting in our apartment in Chicago. We are here for like 2 weeks. It's coming to a close soon, which is really
Working,
sad.
yeah, we're
Yeah,
working
it's
and
a work
playing and-
staycation.
A workcation?
Well, it's a
Is that what it
work.
is?
No, it's a work playcation.
Work
Oh,
play-
You guys
Right,
would not
that's
been
too
able.
many words.
You haven't been willing to embrace
Why
this
can't-
term,
why can't you
but
say
that's what
what?
it is because it's work / play
But what
cation because it's not one or the other.
Oh, nobody's gonna use that.
Work
Yeah, like
Workcation.
no workcation. It to me indicates you're working in
You
your
should
vacation.
you should just make an acronym. So it's work, which is W,
Okay.
play,
Have you thought through this?
which is P.
Okay.
No, and vacation, which is V. So WPV.
Yeah,
That's weird. That
that
sounds
just
like a
rolls right off
disease.
the tongue. What are you doing?
Where are you? Well, I got my WPV. So.
But no,
Yeah.
we had the idea.
I think it sounds cool. So
Anywho,
y'all
I
can
think-
just
I
leave.
think we
Did
all
you
have the
workshop that
opportunity.
with your little 7th grade?
I think we have
friend?
the
Eighth grade.
opportunity
Eighth
to.
grade.
I think we have the opportunity to call it whatever we personally want to our
Okay.
Yeah,
people
sure.
group. And since it's since I'm directing the podcast, I'm going to call it a work placation. And
Okay.
so we came to Chicago, and we have been here just south of 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So tell the at-home audience some things we've done since we've been here.
How about what
We
have you been
actually had
working on?
just sat in our apartment the whole time and just stared out the window into the parking garage. So that's
So okay. So for the home audience, we, you do all this stuff, and we have done a couple of trips like this in the past where we've had work projects in Chicago for a couple of weeks or whatever it is, months.
Yeah.
And so we decided that we would come and work on some things in Chicago, and so we got an Airbnb instead of a hotel and all that kind of stuff. And so
Yes.
and we haven't done a lot of that. Many of you have done significant things with Airbnb. So we picked
But
one.
we don't normally like Chicago's the only place that we like stay longer than just
Right.
like 5 days.
So
Right.
far.
And so
So
we
far.
looked at a couple of
Dun,
places
dun,
in
dun.
Chicago and some that we really loved. And we thought, okay, this is great. This is the place we want to be. Let's do this. And then they added the taxes and the handling fees and all that stuff. And you're like, are you kidding
Oh my
me?
gosh, it's so expensive.
So reach out to our GoFundMe because I'm not going to college anymore. I
Right.
just
So we found another spot,
saved up
and
all
it
year.
was it did make sense, and we did. Anjanette was very kind. She saved a lot of her performing monies and all that kind of stuff.
Our mimosa yoga money. Like we
Yes.
have our travel fund and what
Yeah.
we kind of do, like little
Projects.
squirrels, that store up nuts. Yeah, when we have extra money, we kind of put it away and like
Yeah.
save it so that we can go do that. So we had
Yeah.
the idea to come to Chicago and get away.
So we see this thing, and we know the location is in the kind of in the thick of everything. Which for
Yeah.
people
Right
who like
in
us,
downtown.
we like that energy on a per want basis, not on
I
a
like it all
constant
the
basis.
time. We're a little different.
Yeah.
I always like being busy because I find sereneness in always being
You
busier
you
in
say
busy
that.
places.
You say that, but then you shut down. Like you like the last 3 nights, you're like, let's just stay in our
Well, yeah, but the
let's just
thing is,
stay in
like,
the apartment,
I mean,
not
like
go out.
I mean, Chicago in general, when you stay in downtown, the busyness to me is calming, and when you stay in your house, you can find sereneness in
your little
the busy
place.
area,
Right.
which is what I mean.
Well,
by
we
that.
find a little bit of continuity. I mean, that's the kind of the fun part of the Airbnb thing, which we don't do a lot of. But
Yeah.
you find some continuity in making meals and
Yeah.
doing laundry
Yeah,
and
it's nice.
sleeping normal hours and doing
Yeah.
reading and all those kinds of things. And so, but I digress. So I digress. We've been here. We've been working on. What have you been working on, Evanjalyn? So it's on this on your work vacation. On your work
Workcation.
vacation, what have you been doing?
on your workcation.
Well, on our WPV, I have been working on writing a book, and it's going pretty well.
Can you tell us a little bit about the story briefly and how the process is? Because you started it last summer and you're picking it back up.
Yeah, because
So, do you know what an elevator pitch is?
yes, I'm working on it right now. So I
Oh,
was
sorry,
about to
squeeze
say
me.
it, and then you interrupted
Oh
me.
my gosh! Please give us your elevator
How
pitch
would
for
you
your book.
describe your book in 2 sentences?
I would just,
That's an elevator
I
pitch.
would describe my book like Cheers, but a coffee house in Brooklyn.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's a great elevator pitch. That's
I like
well
it.
done.
Okay, so tell us
Cheers.
a little bit about some
But
of the
a coffee
characters,
shop
like,
in Brooklyn.
nutshell, what's happening in the
It's
book.
almost like there's like this friend group, and it's made up of like people of different ages. And it was like Emily, who's a comedy. Well, they're all comedy relief. Emily, unemployed, she comes every day, and they're all just regulars to Madeline's coffee shop, the Brooklyn Coffee House, shortened to BCH. And there's Gary, who's a little bit older, who's like a tough, like tatted up biker guy. And then there's Eddie, who works at an art gallery. He's very artistic. He's really cool, and they just all work really well together through their differences. Yeah, they come along to some struggles, not necessarily with each other, but like
In
fighting
their
other
lives.
struggles in the world together. So.
Wow. Does
So
most of
is
it
there-
take place within the coffee shop, or are you
Yeah,
going to other areas of their life?
I mean, there's like a few.
Is the coffee shop named Central Perk?
she
No.
said the friends were of different ages. So
Sorry, I
that
was just
makes it
asking.
different.
I just know where we're
And
going.
there's Central Perk in New York.
I said Brooklyn,
They all
didn't
live in
I?
an apartment together. No.
That's funny. What have
But-
you enjoyed
Is there
about... Okay, go ahead. What?
romance involved?
There is romance
Oh
in the
my
book.
And what
Dad.
discussion did we have about the romance yesterday?
I told them, I was like, I mean, I'd love to have you guys proofread my book, but like, there's romance in it. I don't want you guys to get weird.
And what?
Why would you expect us to get weird?
And what?
Because you are my parents
What
reading a
did
book I wrote about
What did I say
romance. You
about your
said,
romance? Keep it at a
don't
level.
write anything that you wouldn't let us read. Or
That
that we wouldn't let you read.
read.
And I was like, okay.
I thought that was good. So
Is
I was like,
there,
you don't know
is
what I
there
read, so-
magic involved?
There is not magic. I thought about it. I was like, what if they just get a letter to Hogwarts one day in the mail? I genuinely thought about it. I am not joking. I was like, would J.K. Rowling be
I love
okay
it.
with it?
So what are you reading right now?
Is there any drama involved?
There is drama.
Is there any action involved? Like, are there like an Indiana Jones quest or anything?
No.
Dinosaurs?
Not really. It's just
Jurassic
more
Park
drama
stuff?
of love.
Oh, the drama
wow,
of love.
The love has really. I wondered. You started writing a book when you were in 6th grade, and you were visiting this summer, post 7th grader. I'm thinking this could change, right?
Yeah, it changed a little bit. Like, there's like a few things that I was like, why did I write that? That was stupid. Nobody's
Sure.
gonna get that joke.
Anything like a galactic conquest energy to it, like a Star
Dad's looking
Wars
for
or
Star Wars, in his book, and I don't feel like
you don't, that's not what you're. Okay, that's fine.
Because
that's fine.
Harry Potter is better than Star Wars, and we've
Oh
had this
my
conversation
God.
like 8 times.
Wow! Don't try and wreck
Way
universes.
better.
So tell me, what have you enjoyed about being here and working here? What have you liked?
Working here, you get to go to coffee shops, and that's really cool because you look out and you're like, oh my gosh, this is a city that I love, and I've been to like 14 times, and it's like my home. It's where I want to possibly live when I grow up or get my master's. I already have my whole life planned. So
Yeah,
That's good.
that's good. That's
yeah.
never failed anyone.
it's
so
just
stay
cool
with
to
it.
look out. It's cool to look out and be like, wow, I'm here. This is like my favorite
Yeah.
place to be. I love it. This is home. And then also you get to like work on this creative thing that you love too. And we brought our little, we call it Little
Yeah,
Red.
we
We
did
brought out our
bring
little keyboard.
That's I mean, as in a piano keyboard, not like a typing keyboard.
Yes, your dad,
No,
who loves
yeah.
us very much, hauled
it
as
has
his
like
extra
66
suitcase.
keys or something.
Yeah.
So it's not, it just has like one or
What?
two less octaves.
We brought our tiny keyboard, which we call Little Red because she's red, so
Yes.
that we could both work
How
on
aptly
music.
named. It would have been odd if she'd been black or blue or whatever.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
Little Red. We like her. I think part of the fun for us is, I'll speak for myself. is like conquering the environment.
Yes.
So there's been some really tough things and sad things about where we are.
Oh my gosh.
And then some
yeah.
beautiful things. And then you're kind of just existing in
So
a
lots
different
of-
space for a
yeah.
couple of weeks. And it doesn't mean you don't have the same anxieties or
No.
fears or financial troubles or all the things. You know,
All
you're
the financial troubles went away.
Well,
Well, we
my
chose to
point
ignore them
is
for a
that
day.
life is still life. You're still human, but it's interesting to try to navigate it in a different
Yeah.
environment. So I think it's been fun. Like
Every-
I thought our French coffee shop was cool.
Every
too.
day that
coffee
we
shop was cool.
every day we've been here, there's been at least one or two like really wonderful specific memories. So whether that's
Yeah.
going to Wrigley,
Yeah.
or
Always
whether
fun.
that's being at the afternoon concert at Fourth Presbyterian on
Fourth Presbyterian.
Michigan
on
I've
Avenue.
seen, okay, in
that Broadway guy
Chicago,
was good.
yeah, in Chicago, like, I guess you just don't give up after you become Fourth Presbyterian because you're so
Right.
far, like, down the line.
Yeah.
I guess, like, Chicago's
One
like,
day, if you work hard enough,
Chicago
you might be
is such
First
a big
Presbyterian.
city that
Yeah.
I have seen a Seventh Presbyterian
Right. But
before.
if you stay with it,
Yeah.
you might just work your way up.
I mean, Fourth is pretty good, really.
it's not bad in a
For
community of
Chicago, I mean, girl.
3.5 million people. That's not bad at all, really.
I love
Yeah.
it.
You're in the
But
top
no,
five.
That's what I like about it. Even though it's not always easy, we kind of just put ourselves in a different environment for a while
Right.
and survive it.
It
And
does.
sometimes
It
that
sparks
awakens
some things
creative
that
juices.
you know, like one of our favorite writers is Steinbeck, and Steinbeck
Mm-hmm.
did Travels with Charlie, and he said that the test of any great trip is that it makes your day-to-day life, your living, that much more romantic.
Oh.
And so,
I didn't know
yeah,
that was Steinbeck. I
Yeah.
knew that concept. I didn't realize that.
yeah. So when we get,
I did.
Oh, there
Oh,
you go.
come on.
You haven't even seen Charlie. And so when we get home, yeah, there's been a lot of this trip, though. It seems very romantic to pick up and go and work someplace and do that stuff and to be kind of Hemingway-ish and smoke cigarettes and write poetry.
Have you been smoking cigarettes?
You can tell by her voice she has. Yeah.
Well, the 7-Eleven is literally right around the corner.
It's, yeah, you know,
While you
as
were
long as she's not
sleeping.
vaping, we're good. And so anyway, yeah, I mean, it can seem very romantic. You show up at a French bistro and you smoke cigarettes and you write poetry and you think, okay, I'm walking away with this. Well, but in some level, you're in a different space. It is uncomfortable. You've put yourself out there. There's things that are well beyond your day-to-day life. But there's something to embrace in that. And then when you get home, you'll think, oh, I remember the very first time I ever came to Chicago was on a baseball trip, and it was with Jason, your dad, Jason Elmore, and Mike Stairs. And it was our last day here. And we were staying just off of Michigan Avenue in a hotel. And I got up early. I left the hotel room by myself, and I walked over to Lake Michigan, and the beach that's there on Oak Park Beach and Oak Street Beach. And I put my feet in
You're
the water.
on Oak Street Beach.
Yeah, there you go. I put my feet in the water, and I was thinking, I'm going to do this because tomorrow, this time tomorrow, I will be in Bartlesville, Oklahoma, which is fantastic. Mm-hmm. And I will think to myself, this time yesterday, my feet were in Lake Michigan on the Great Lake, and I was in Chicago, and I was having that moment there, and now I'm having this moment here.
Yeah.
And
And
all those things
somehow-
all matter.
Yeah, and I think, this trip in some ways has been kind of challenging.
Yeah.
Because the environment we're in and lots of things, but it's also been good. And
Well, and where we are in life and the things we're
Yes.
considering and all the choices we have to make.
yeah, we come away to get creative inspiration, hopefully, and sometimes the muse doesn't visit.
Right.
But you still make the most of the time that
You
have.
show up to the speed dating with the muse, and she doesn't show up at all.
She doesn't want to come.
She doesn't want to be
She
there.
forgot her name
I
tag.
wonder
Yes.
if John Lennon has a linen company.
What?
Well, there you go.
You know, like John Lennon, does he have a linen
Linen line.
fabric?
We should revisit spelling.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that would make it even better if he spelled it like his last
But
name.
whenever we do experiences like this,
Mm-hmm.
I know that Evanjalyn will remember them.
yeah.
And that she will remember the times fondly, even
Yes.
though there were struggles. And I know that we will be proud, just like we are in our other ventures,
Yeah.
that we tried it, that we did it.
Yes.
And I think it does. I think part of the beauty of it is it does make what you have back home, which we already know is good.
Oh, we love it.
It's very
Yeah.
different, but it makes it sweeter. It makes it sweeter, which means apparently you have to go back to school soon.
Wow. So
I'm in heart
when you go back to
transition.
Dying noises.
now, when you go back to school, what will you be doing? Where will you be? And what will you be
Yeah,
doing?
tell us what's coming up for you.
I will be in 8th grade, which is cool because you get to be top dog.
Oh, you're repeating 8th grade again?
Yeah.
Oh, this is your
Do we
first
have
time.
to talk about this in front of everybody, Dad?
Oh my God, Dad.
Oh my
God,
God. All right, so you're in 8th grade.
I'm gonna be in 8th grade, and I think like that's gonna be fun, but also I'm kind of ready for high school. Like it's
Yeah.
scary, but like
Okay.
I don't know. Like I feel like halfway through my 8th grade year, I'm gonna be like, oh God, I'm so tired of this and all that.
Let's move on.
But
No, I remember you had that same look in 5th grade, and I thought,
Oh, yeah.
which was, so when we were coming up, you went through elementary school, you went through 6th grade, then you went on to middle school, which was 7th and 8th grade, and then you went on to high school. And so it's different now, obviously. Elementary school only goes through 5th grade, but I remember looking at Evanjalyn and thinking, she's done pretty much everything she can do here. She's really ready to
I
move
had that
on.
look in
Yeah.
my eye, and it's like,
Yes.
What are you looking forward to the most in
Yeah.
8th grade?
What about some of your
I'm
broadcasting
looking forward
stuff?
to being in broadcasting, which is going to be super fun. 'cause
Shout
that's
out
one
to
of my
Miss
passions.
Elmore.
Shout out to Miss Elmore.
/ Aunt B.
Slash Aunt B. Yes, she is. Like that class is my favorite. I love it so much. It's something that I got introduced into last year that I hadn't really been familiar with. I love editing. I love being on camera too. They're all of my passions, which is really great. I was like, I think like music is my thing. Like, I kind of reached that extent in my brain, and I got introduced into this new whole thing, and I was like, whoa, this is like a different art form, and like, how can I make this my own, and how can I help
Yeah.
other people get inspired by this too, which was so cool. I'm looking forward to being a kind 8th grader,
Kind to the younger kids.
kind to all the people.
Yeah.
Just having a welcoming environment or welcoming people, especially when you're coming to a new school.
Yeah.
For 6th graders and like 7th graders moving on to 7th grade. It's important that big change, that like the steps from elementary school to middle school, and then from middle school to keep going up in middle school is a huge deal, and you're learning new things every year, and you have to navigate literally and mentally through all these new struggles and things, and having somebody who has gone through that or gone partially through some of the things that you have gone through and knowing that they can be kind about it and not just shove you down through
Yeah.
your struggles is really helpful. Just like accepting all of the people and their struggles is really important to help
Oh,
people
man.
have a good environment.
I love
So,
that. I mean, I've seen you do that, but that's literally the good you can do. And that's kind of the benefit of going through hard things, whether those are emotional hard things or mental hard things or spiritual hard things or whatever it is, hard times. And once you go through them, you think, oh, if I could help somebody who's also going through that hard
Yeah.
time, who's
Yeah.
also going through that experience. And so you've been
and not be rude or neglecting
No.
about it or arrogant really helps.
Yeah.
Yeah,
To
that's
Be a guide.
that's the good you
humility.
can do.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm looking forward to you being the top dog because I know you're
Yeah.
going to do it with
Well,
your
you'll
passion.
handle it well. but-
That's right.
Friends, we have to go
We have
because
some deep dish pizza to eat.
we are meeting our friend Art Cunningham, and yes, it's
Oh.
that Art. It's
Shout
that
out,
Art
shout
Cunningham. Shout out Art Cunningham.
So we're
Yes.
going to go
But
eat some pizza.
we know that this has been a long, strange journey on this podcast.
It has been. We've
And
been alone a lot.
we
so
appreciate.
We're excited to have you
Yeah,
guys
so
to
if
talk
we
to.
seem like chatty
Yeah.
Cathy's because this is the first time we've seen you in 2 weeks, it's because that's who we are.
Oh,
We've missed you, and we're so grateful to be back with you. Next time you hear our voices, we will be back in the Pioneer Dream Lair, which we are looking forward to being back home
That's what you think.
for that part of it. And who knows, we may go other places and do other things, but we're so grateful that you guys go on this journey with us. We love you. We got a lot to look forward to. If you have not been there yet, please go to dreamerscoalition.com, and then you can find out when we're going to be back together in person. So we're on our summer break right now for the Dreamers Live event. We have another Dreamers Live coming up on September 19th, I think. So still some time to get back into school, get your school clothes, your new school clothes. Anyway, we'll see you guys back in the Ville. We can't wait to do it, and we're looking forward to seeing you live and in person at the next Dreamers Live event on September 19th. Mark your calendars, and we're really looking forward to that too. Evanjalyn, thank you for once again doing the podcast and column with us.
Yes.
How I spent my
What I
summer
did last
break. What I
summer?
did
Yeah,
my
I did.
summer break. The things I'll have to look it up and see. I think it's what I did over my summer break.
There you go.
Yeah, and Jeanette, thanks for joining us.
Well, it was nice of you to let me join.
Well, otherwise you were going to have to go to the other room.
Well, it's a very small
We've
apartment.
shunned you.
Can
and you said,
we're
do
in
you wanna-
this room. Can you go to the other
We're
room?
going to be podcasting. Can you go to the other room, which
Can
has
you
a
go
big
to the
hole
room
in it?
and not be a part of this? And so thank you for joining us in the
was
podcast.
fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button and comment down below, where are you listening from? Thank you for listening to this podcast. Evanjalyn Webster.
Sign out.
And Jeanette Webster.
And Jay Webster signing out for the Dreamers Life podcast. We'll see you soon.
Woohoo.
Peace out.
Peace from Chicago.
Thanks for listening. We'd love it if you'd like and subscribe to the podcast and then share it with the people you know. We want to include as many people as possible in the conversation. Also, be sure to check out our Got a Minute mini podcast, which pairs funny stories with original music all in about 15 minutes. Thanks! This has been a production of Pioneer Dream.